from Refurbish in the Middle. I'm doing a lot of decoupaging, and I haven't done a decoupage tutorial video or whatever for a while. So I thought, well, I got this in the afternoon. I got this little stool ready. So I put some music on, and I had already been working on cutting out flowers, and I'll show you what I'm using. I have these are Mesa Fina. I got these at TJ Maxx, right there, $4.99. These are really pretty napkins. They're 3-ply, which, I don't know. I wish they would make them for people who decoupage without the other 2 plies, but isn't it gorgeous? I went ahead and I put pink, you can see the pink on the inside, because I haven't decided if I'm going to clean this up and leave it pink. I'm thinking about putting some gold in here, but I'm going to get the decoupage done first. So I did the whole thing in pink, and then I went over it with our Plum Crazy. I've got 2 coats. So I'm using our gator hide. See, I got that much left. I'm using every drop. I'm not going to waste it. This stuff is like liquid gold. Okay. So you see here I've got 1 flower. I'm just going to use this brush, and a couple little things I could tell you too. When you're decoupaging, it's good to have a few little tools. Usually I have the little X-Acto knife, or I just have a little razor blade or something with me. And I have my decoupage scissors that are curled, which those come, I use those quite a bit. And I found out too, with these 3-ply napkins, it's best just to cut out your design first. And then it seems like after you've cut it out, that the other layers want to come off a lot easier. But if you're going to use it for, you know, the whole sheet, which you very well could on drawers, and that's what I put on the drawer. I'll put the whole sheet. Usually will do. You'll have to sort of get your fingers tacky, maybe stick them in your gator hide or something and let it dry, and you can roll it like that, and then that'll come apart, and you can tear off your layers. But I have found that it's best if you can completely cut it out, and then they seem to fall off. So see, like I said, here's one I've already had cut out. 1 layer came off, and there goes another layer. So, and to this project, some projects I do, oh, let me turn that down. Okay. Some projects that I do leave them 2-ply. It just depends on what I have under the paper, or what kind of wood, or if I'm trying to hide something. But this is pretty straightforward. This little stool, it was some kind of Asian stool. It had like some kind of mother of pearl and stuff. So I took our mud and went over it real good and let it dry and sanded it down, and then I hit the top of the ones on the side, so when I painted them, they won't show through. So all I'm going to do is take, I guess I'll take this one here. And I got the red one down. And most of the time I sort of try to see where I can fit it at. Could go, that might even be better all the way up here. Because I don't think I'm going to put decoupage in the middle here. I'm thinking about maybe doing our IOD, the IOD furniture stamp. Just something real light. I don't know. So I'm going to bypass this for now, and I'll just do all this. And it may seem backwards to you, but that's just sort of how I work. Doesn't matter how much I sit down and try to think I can plan stuff on paper or whatever. It just, you know, it starts out like that, but then it always ends up something different. But that's the beauty of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my time, and you don't have to be so slow about it. I'm just particular. And I will tell you this too, you can use our top coat, and the gator hide works really good. You could use Mod Podge too, if that's what you got. Oh, this is what I was going to tell you too. See how when I have these curves like that, if you take your brush and get it super, not super, but pretty good and damp, you can soften the paper up so when you gently push it down, it doesn't rip. Just like, see under here, let me turn this a little. I hope you can see how that's flappy like that. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm sorry, I hope I'm not blocking, okay, because there. See how I just wet that? And it just is so much more pliable, and you can get it down there and not rip it, and you know, try to keep your wrinkles down. Now that's another thing too. If you're faint of heart, OCD, whatever you want to call it, decoupage might not be for you, because there's no, you get what you get. It's just the way it is. You can lay your paper down as thin as you think you can get it, but sometimes it's just gonna not do that. I've done it with tissue paper, napkins, wrapping paper. I just did something I'm going to show you later. This is the Rifle, from the Rifle Paper Company. And everything just, you just never know. The paper just sometimes does what it's going to do. Okay, I think I'm going to just do a little bit down this leg. Sometimes, maybe I'll just turn that around a little bit until I see where I think I like it. That was good. And I'm gonna, oh, and another thing too is if you're doing a piece like bigger than what I'm doing, I always try to, whatever I am going to use to top coat my piece of furniture with, that's what I try to use when I'm decoupaging. So say if I wasn't going to use gator hide, I just wanted this to be resistant because I just thought this would be so cute on a front porch or, you know, somewhere outside. So, let's see. Okay. And here too, this is a good little example too. This is why you're going to need your scissors, because this is curved. That would probably lay right down, but I'm not going to take any chance, and I'm just going to sort of cut with the shape of the petal on the napkin. So I'm going to make sure I get some behind there. Oh, okay, but back to the top coat. And the reason I try to choose what I'm going to use and use that when I'm decoupaging, because it's easier to sometimes lay the gator hide or top coat out further than your actual design, if that makes sense to you. And in that way, you could just come by and stick the top down with your brush, because the bottom will be adhered. It just, that's how I do it. That's all I can say. I can't say it's good, better, bad, or anything. It's just how I do it. So, that's all it is. So I'm gonna have to cut more flowers, because I don't, I clearly don't have enough, because I guess I'm gonna put them on pretty heavy. Yeah, sometimes these little things can be little sticklers. It's handy too if you have a spare pair of tweezers. Sometimes it helps, because just like this right here, this little piece is, it's apart, but it won't let my fingers separate it. There we go. So there's a pink one, and there's the second layer. It came right up with it. See? That's so much easier than trying to do a whole sheet. Let's see, I'll go ahead and put one more here, and then I'll get off here, because I don't want this to turn into a huge kind of thing. But see how I'm just going ahead, and I'm putting the gator hide down. I'm just going to lay that on top of there, and then just come back over it. Now this, I don't think I'm going to have to need to cut, because it's not going to be stretching that far across, and it'll go. And see how when you put just a little more of that on there, the top coat or the gator hide, it helps. And then if you just thin it out a little, and two, if you ever feel like you got too much, just grab a rag wipe it, because you can do that.